Okay, continuing from our last project, how to set up Davinci's database and then how to import media. Okay, so we'll start with this one where everything is imported already through its proper bin, and we're ready to create the rough cut, which is basically almost like the final cut, since this is a pre-edited video that was just kind of scrambled as a way to kind of assess the your visual storytelling skills. Okay, so I will go to the edit tab or the module right here. Okay, I'm gonna go to my video browser, right? And one way to do in preview videos is to look at each one, and they would show in your browser or preview monitor, and when you drag them into your timeline, you will be able to see them over here. Okay, so this is simply just a matter of selecting which one goes first, and then it goes on. Kind of like it's a puzzle that was just kind of scrambled, and you need to prepare it. So I'm going to start dragging footage into the timeline. Okay, as you can see here, when these were cut together, there was an audio that was exported through there with the video clip. So that's why when I drag a video clip right here, it shows there's a video layer and an audio layer. There's really no sound, so we got to get rid of that when we drag it to the timeline. Otherwise, it's a lot of work just trying to maneuver past the first or second layer just so that you can get rid of this video layer. The traditional way of getting rid of it is to first unchain the link. It looks like this chain icon right here, link selection. When I disengage this, it turns to this light gray. I can then select just the audio by itself and then press delete on the keyboard, and you get rid of it. That's kind of, in a way, a long way of doing it, because you got to turn that back on to make sure that when you are actually editing later with the video and audio component, that you're not accidentally unsyncing it. All right, so here's a way to kind of drag a footage in the timeline with a specific media, either video or audio. All right, so we can use any of this. Actually, I'm gonna start and use the same one. Okay, this one right here. When you double click it in your browser, place here in the preview, if you hover your mouse here, you will see a video icon or film icon and an audio or waveform icon. Usually you would drag it from the center going down, and then you let go, and then you can drop it on any specific layer. Right now we have 1 and 2 active. You can activate as many as you want. Then you get both audio and video. However, if you just drag using your video clip right here and drag it in here, you only get the video part. You don't get the audio. And vice versa. If I select the waveform or audio, when I drag it, I only get the audio. All right, so that's the quick way to drag and drop media into the timeline, and being specific if you just want the video and the audio. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to double click here and then select. I know for a fact that that's the ending, so I'm going to just kind of go through here which one is the beginning, so on and so forth. All right, so I will not show the actual edit here because that is part of your homework. So I will use the kind of obvious one. Like I said, that's the ending right there, and I'm going to go through some of the clips, but I'm not going to go one at a time. So this is just a way for us to kind of learn how to put things together and move objects around, clips around, so on and so forth. Okay, so I'll pick another clip right here. All right, and then let's preview that. Tap the space bar. Okay, going into the bike right here. That's fine. I'm going to want just the video. All right, and then that's the ending again. Let's go for the part where it continues with our main character riding the bike. That's already when he's riding it, looking at possible encounter right there. Okay, so I'm just gonna look for the clip. We didn't name this also, and you can name them if you want to in your media. Right clicking, and you can clip attribute right here, and then you can name them in this one right here if you just want to change the name and kind of rename them, but you don't have to worry about that for now. We just want to make sure that you'll be able to cover everything here and then just kind of add all these clips together. Okay, so I'm gonna go just find that part where this one would connect, where the character entered the bike. All right, so the previous one is entering, and then let's see right here. All right, that's the same clip. Let me see here. You can kind of preview also here by just kind of dragging, or you're like skimming on. All right, let's see this one. Kind of about to start the bike right there. Okay, oops, just the video. All right, so I'm just gonna skip on the parts. Okay, it goes in. All right, so it's obviously it's missing one right here, and let's just add one more. This should be able to get something going so that we can put something together. All right, that's the part right there. It looks like it's just on a reverse axis on the camera. We're not here to judge the footage on the angle. All right, so it's kind of visually connected. There's lessons on how to do a proper not crossing the axis take and whatnot. So I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna move this back here. I'm gonna zoom in. All right, so this button right here is your full extent zoom. If I click this, it just zooms the whole timeline videos. Okay, if you have one that is so far, it will kind of include that in there. So if I click this, it includes it. All right, so it's a best kind of tool to have in case you have a video that is all the way to the right, excuse me, and you're not sure if you have them all kind of condensed. So you can always do your in and out on what you want to render, but it's a good practice to kind of see what's previously or what's all what video you have in the timeline. So if I click this, that does the full extent. This one is a little bit more specific to where your cursor is parked, and then of course this one gives you the previous magnification. Okay, all right, so the slider right here is your magnification as well, and of course if you want to do the keyboard shortcut for the full extent, keyboard shortcut is Shift Z. Okay, it also toggles the previous magnification back and forth, so it's a good tool and a good shortcut to memorize, especially when you're working on a full timeline and you just want to hone in on one area and then go back to the previous area. Okay, so and that's how we bring in files in here. All right, so what I have here is on video 2. I can drag this to video 3, video 4, so on and so forth. It generates the layers for you. Okay, and it will also do the same with the audio once I drag an audio from our sound effects or music. But for now, I just want to put all this, kind of have a clean kind of rough cut or edit just using one video layer, because like I said, this is already pre-edited. You're not going to use A/B rolls here or layers just so that you can you can complete the story. It's just a matter of completing the puzzle one after the other. All right, so I think I will add just one more in here, just so that we could see some audio possible edit that we are going to do. All right, so I'm going to click this one. I don't need the audio for it. Okay, so when you're moving, you have your select tool. Okay, and it's also a kind of like a move select tool. There's ways to kind of deal with moving like a 3-point edit or a 2-point edit, depending on how complicated the move that you want to perform. But it's simply just rearranging things. All right, nothing too fancy. Just grab it and it snaps at the end. Just make sure it doesn't eat away or trim in on footage, because you'll lose those footage. Okay, and like I said, this is pre-edited, so there's no point in trimming. Okay, in case you want to trim, it's just a matter of connecting it. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm going to go to the beginning. I can also press home on the keyboard, or click end on the keyboard, goes all the way to the end. Shift Z, zoom extends all. Click home, space bar to play. All right, so all right, so it's this is not the edit, of course. We're just looking at kind of visual cues here that we can play with the sound. All right, let's say you are done with your video edit now. You got your rough cut, aka final cut, if you've got it all in there. Now we can start adding sound effects. All right, so I'm gonna go with the music first though. And let's preview the music. Very ominous. All right, so let's say we're going to go with this one, and I'm going to bring this down into the timeline right here. So I'm going to click and drag it. It's a really long song. I'm going to actually put it on audio layer 2 and one more. Okay, so I have space here to play with the sound effects. I'm going to do the zoom extent all and just kind of trim this for the duration of our edit. Okay, so let's kind of play that. All right. Okay, so it's just a matter of finding the sound effects, so on and so forth, and then we'll worry about the volume controls. All right, so let's go to the sound effect, and let's put some really not so very good sound effect in there, just so that we can have something to play with. So that looks kind of out of place, but I'm going to put it in there. So let's make it sound like each time you press that panel is breaking something. So I'm going to click plus here to kind of zoom in. Okay, and just kind of hone in on that one. So let's see. All right, right there he pressed something. Let's do that again. All right, let's probably move that a little bit here, and kind of shorten this one a little bit, because right there it finished. It starts fading. All right, so it looks like you press that and then he starts breaking it. All right, so let's take a look. Let's listen to some. All right, looks like a start of a motor right there. So let's see if he presses, and then let's see if we can put that in there, and then we can start with the engine. Okay. All right, it won't work because of our edit's not long enough to do it. So let's have some more kind of footstep. All right. All right, so let's put that in here. It's more for the chase scene, but again, I'm not putting the proper sound in here. We're just trying to put 2 audio here to kind of understand what we can do with the music while this is happening. Okay, let me shorten that also. All right, some terrible sound edit. All right, so now how do we control the gain? Okay, so I'm going to end the video here, and then we'll continue the lesson how to control the volume.